Today we are going to make a discussion about should RBA raise or cut the official cash rates. We will present our point from the following three aspects: inflation, employment, and household debt.
The first point in fact setting cash rate is inflation rate. Inflation rate is measured by change of average price level in the economy. In general, RBA aims to maintain the inflation rate to 2 to 3%. There is a negative relationship between cash rate and the inflation rate. When RBA sets a low cash rate, which causes a low overnight interest rate of products, such as loans and deposits in commercial banks, consumers are willing to borrow much money to consume, and companies also borrow more money to invest. Hence, it stimulates the growth of the market economy. Conversely, when RBA puts a high cash rate, it will make a high overnight interest rate, since increased cost of debt, and it decreases loans borrowing from consumers and business. As a result, this restrains the growth of economy. If the inflation rate is consistently out of the range, RBA will enact the expansionary monetary policy and the contraction monetary policy to repair the condition.
Employment is second factor of affecting the cash rate and monetary policy. First come to the employment rate. From February this year, the employment rate has decreased about 0.2%, and 27,000 people get employed. So more people can get income, so more money can spend on the market. However, the wage growth is still the lowest for the past 4 years since 1960. So the economy is not going well as the unemployment rate. So the third one is the penalty rate. Penalty rate has decreased for the 4 areas: hospital, fast food, retail, and pharmacy. So people get less money left over from the holiday or the Sunday. So although employment decreased and more people can earn income, however, due to the low wage growth and reducing of penalty rates, the economy is not going that very well for the average level of individual income. So as a consequence of this, the RBA should keep the low cash rate to stimulate the economic system and maintain the stability of it.
Another factor may affect the cash rate is household debt. We will briefly introduce the household debt in these sections. As we all know, household debt can be divided into 3 parts. As the graph shows, the debt-to-income ratio has increased over recent times. However, if the debt-to-income ratio remains in a high level in a long time, it will have a potential risk to stability of the economy. Because of that, in a long time, the RBA plays a role to monitor and control the household debt by changing the cash rate. On the one hand, when RBA introduced to a low cash rate, it encourages Australians to borrow. However, if people still try to borrow more funds at this time, there will be a medium risks that are associated. On the other hand, when the RBA introduced a high cash rate, it discourages people to borrow. However, in Australia now, the house prices in some states is much higher than other states. If the RBA introduced a high cash rate now, it might cause the house prices in the major cities decreasing sharply.
In conclusion, we have already discussed 3 factors: inflation, employment, and household debt. We can see through our study and analysis that recently inflation rate remained at low level. We recommend remain the cash rate at the same levels. In the employment part, employment and household part, due to the economy is not in a good shape, we consider the cash rate stay at the same or have a slightly raise to promote economic growth. Considering the current situation, we judge that holding the cash rate unchanged would be consistent with sustainable growth in the economy.